Hello and greetings here from our basement. I want to show you today a method how to reduce the output volume of your tube amplifier. And I have a Blues Junior here and I have a Fender, the Twin. Both are tube amps. One has 100 watt and this one has 15 watt. And if you use these amplifiers at home, during nighttime they are simply too loud. You cannot run these amplifiers because already at the volume set to 1 it's so loud that you will most likely get problems with your neighbors or with your wife or with somebody. And so the question is, what can you do to reduce the output volume so that you can use these amplifiers also at home? And of course there are different methods. One thing is you can use an overdrive pedal in front of the input. Another method is if you have an amplifier which has, for example, 4 tubes in the output stage, you can remove 2 of the output tubes, which gives you half of the power. But still, this is too loud. I did that here on the Twin, and instead of 100 watt you have 50 watt, but 50 watt is basically the same loudness as 100 watt. Maybe you have a little bit more headroom with 100 watt, but this is still too loud. So this doesn't help. You can install, or some amplifiers have this already installed, a master volume potentiometer. I installed here a master volume potentiometer on this Twin, and there are different ways to do it. There is a pre-phase inverter mod or a post-phase inverter mod. Both methods basically just reduce the signal which finally goes to the power stage. As I said, I did here a pre-phase inverter master volume, and it works, but anyway, already at 2 it's still too loud. I mean, without master volume you cannot use it at all because this is incredible. This amp sounds pretty good, but it's incredibly loud. So this didn't help here in my case. So the next thing what you can do, you can use a load box. Load box is a kind bunch of resistors which just are switched parallel to your loudspeaker, and a portion of the energy is just transferred into heat, and only a small amount is finally going to the loudspeaker, and therefore it's a lower output volume. And there are different types available on the market. Load boxes which are just built with resistors. These are the cheaper ones, and then there are the reactive load boxes which have also some coils and capacitors inside to simulate the frequency behavior of a loudspeaker, and they work pretty well. But a good load box will then also cost you about 300-400 US dollars and more, so it's not a cheap device. And I did not want to spend so much money for this load box. So the next thing what you can do is, of course, you can make a loudspeaker cabinet which is sealed, a closed cabinet basically, and put a microphone inside. And there were also in the past some companies who sold or sell these devices, these closed cabinets. I'm not sure if this is still available. Anyway, these at the time when you could buy these closed cabinets, also the price range is, I think, 300 upwards. Was not a solution for my purpose here. So, and there is another thing what you can do, and I found that in the internet, is the internal power scaling. Internal power scaling of a tube amplifier is basically nothing else like you have a circuit which reduces the supply voltage, which is finally connected to the output transformer, and therefore you reduce the output voltage and hence the volume. If you want to use this internal power scaling, you have of course to open your amplifier. You have to install some circuits, some PCBs, which is a thing which I don't want to do. And so I looked a little bit further and I found, well, why not use an external power scaling? I mean, the effect is basically the same. You reduce the main supply voltage. Finally, your output stage gets less voltage, and therefore less current is flowing, and power is nothing else like voltage multiplied current. So I thought maybe you can use this. And if you have a pure tube amplifier, that means with no digital circuits inside, this is just analog technology. You cannot damage anything. So if you go lower with the voltage than the nominal voltage, then you will not harm and damage your amplifier. So there is no risk to doing this. And to try that, this is very simple. You buy a variable transformer, which is something like this here. You can buy this on Amazon or somewhere on an internet shop for, I don't know, 50 bucks. This one cost me 60 euros, which is about 70 US dollars, something like this. And it runs maximum 1000 watt. And I can vary the voltage from 0 up to 300 volt. Now, the voltage here in Germany is 230 nominal. And I did some tests. And what I found, when you run these amplifiers here in a range of 40 to 60% of the nominal main supply, you get a good tone and you get a reasonable output volume, which is really good enough and low enough to run it also during night times. And I want to demonstrate this now here on two amplifiers which I have here. One is the Blues Junior and the other one is the Twin. So what I will do is now I reduced already the main supply for these two amplifiers from 230 to 99 or 100 volt basically, and the tone stack of the Blues Junior is in the middle. That means between 6 and what is it, 7 in this case. The master is fully cranked up to 12 and the volume is also in the middle position. So this is what you will get from that Blues Junior if you run it with basically 40% of the main supply. I record this with a Shure SM57. I also have here a room microphone, which is a Neumann TLM 103, a condenser microphone, which I will switch on and off. I will write it down in the video when it is active and when it is off. And let you hear the difference, how I hear it in the room and also how it is recorded directly from the microphone. So at the moment, as I said, my guitar is completely open and I hear basically just my strings. I think there's a little bit signal coming from the loudspeaker, but this is definitely nothing. So I go a little bit up with the volume to maximum, and I hear it is working at all, at least. But it is not a tone which I can live. This is, you know, some distorted tone, which is nothing what I normally would use. So I go back to the middle and I increase my voltage to 110, 109, and I wait a little bit because the tubes need to warm up. And you hear now suddenly it's getting louder. switch, go back with the volume of your guitar. You can use your reverb to get a little bit of bluesy tone. So everything is working perfect, and you can now play with the main supply and find a sweet spot for your tone. Normally I use a not so heavy distorted guitar, so I go down here with the gain to 2. Master is still fully open, guitar is fully open, and it's very low volume here, so I go up to, let's say, 120. Takes 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and then you have fat switch. Your tone stack is working. Volts for the boost channel, and you get a reasonable good tone for 50 bucks. I think it's great, you know. This is the raw mode of my blues channel, which I installed. Basically, this bypassing the tone stack. Go down. What shall I say? If you need more power, you just increase it up to 230 volt and then it's done, you know. So let's go to 150. Now it's getting loud, you know. Definitely not a bedroom level for nighttime. think for me personally this is great, you know. So no modification on the amplifier, just use a transformer, fine. So let's try now the Fender Twin. And if you know the Fender Twin, you know this is a brutal loud amplifier. So 100 watts pure energy. The tone stack, as you can see, is all in the middle. And now I go up with the master maximum. That means this is as there is no master volume installed at all. And I can still talk and hear myself, which would not be possible if you have this at nominal voltage. So this was the channel 2, channel 1. It's the clean channel, and you hear this is a little bit louder because on the channel 2 there is a master volume as well. So if you wanna reduce that volume, go to 100 volts. Guitar is still open. Now let's go to the channel 1 again. So this was a short demonstration of external power scaling with a transformer, and as I said already, you can use that with tube amps which have no digital circuits inside, so I don't know if this will work if you have some tube amps like from using Kettner, when you have this switching circuits or digital effects or all that kind of stuff. This will most likely give you a problem, but if you have these old-fashioned pure tube amps, it will run, and you cannot damage the amplifier as long as you stay below the nominal voltage, not volume, which is here in Germany 2 130 in the US. I think it's 110 or 120. As long as you are below, you cannot damage the amplifier. So this is fact. And maybe you give it a try and write in your comment what your experience is with the external power scaling. Thank you very much. Bye bye, and see you next time here.